What's up, gamers? It's your host, Cobra, and today we're covering Genesis Week for Frontier Games. So what is Genesis Week? It's a full week of plans and different events to keep the hype going before we finally get to open up our black boxes at the end of the week. So today on the 25th, the Watcher kicked off a bunch of ETH giveaways. He's given away over $15,000 in Ethereum. I think it's actually over 16,000 now with ETH continuing to rise, but that started today. I think it's going to continue out through the entire week, but either way, really exciting. People love to win money. Tomorrow, there's going to be an ARG puzzle game where you can win NFT prizes. I'm assuming that'll be Frontier NFTs, but either way, it should be a fun event, and if you have the time to participate, make sure you're in the Discord because that should be a lot of fun. Then on Wednesday, we're going to finally get the gameplay tease that we've all been waiting for. Thursday, they're going to drop merch. It sounds like it's going to be free. I don't know exactly what's coming, but I'm very excited and hope that we can get a t-shirt to wear in a future video. Friday, there's going to be Lucky Watcher auctions, or correction, not Lucky Watcher, it's going to be the Dark Knight Watcher and a couple other rare watchers that will be auctioned off, which is very cool. Saturday, we're going to get an airdrop of a Stellar Edition flash block if you hold a black box. And then on Sunday, we finally get to open the black box, which has 2 flash blocks of different rarities and your data key. So we're going to cover everything that is most important about this week and the stuff that you truly need to know. The key here is that it all revolves around the black box. It's a signature item, and the Watcher has been promising that he would deliver a ton of value around the black box for everybody that held on, and this is the week that it all comes to a head. The first event is happening on Saturday the 30th, and it's one that you don't need to do anything for unless you don't own a black box today and intend to purchase one, in which case make sure you go and do that before they end up costing you 3 or 4 ETH later on this week. The airdrop will happen on Saturday. You don't have to do anything except hold your black box. What you're going to receive is a Stellar Edition flash block. Now, everything that Stellar Edition so far from Frontier Games has been worth a pretty penny. I expect this will be no different. We don't know exactly what kind of flash block you're going to get. They hinted that it could be a glitch block, which would be very cool, but either way, we love airdrops. Then finally, on Saturday the 31st, Halloween day itself, we get to open our black box. Or rather, you get the option to open your black box finally. If you do, it's going to contain 2 flash blocks of various varieties, or rarities rather, and it's also going to contain your data key. Now, up until this week, all we've known is that you have to hold the black box in order to get a data key. Everybody has been assuming that it would be airdropped to us, but instead it's going to be inside of the black box itself. That means that you have to open it to get your data key. Now, the Watcher has also hinted that there could be some other prize for not opening your black box. So some people certainly going to do that. It'll be interesting to see what that does to the value as the supply of black boxes goes way down, because I expect most people are going to open, and most are going to open right away. All right, so you own a black box. Now what? This is where some game theory comes in, and quite honestly, we don't have the right answer for you necessarily. What you need to know is that in order to get your data key, you need to open the black box. However, there's not a time frame in which that needs to happen. So you can choose to keep it as just a black box, leave it sealed for now, and see what happens with the market and what everybody else decides to do. Frankly, that's probably the most prudent advice that we can give, is to wait and see what happens with everything else. Now, that said, there's definitely some value in the future if you choose not to open your black box this week. The Watcher has listed a couple of hints, and the first one has been on the website for a little while now in the FAQ section when it's talking about the black box. It specifically says that choosing not to open it could trigger something else. But that's it. There's no mention of what the something else could be. And nobody really has a very good guess that I have heard just yet. In addition, this week, as he announced all of the Genesis Week activities, that it included some future roadmap items as well, covering November and December. And in December, it talks about missing Christmas. This is going to be some sort of Christmas-based event that's happening for the project, and it specifically details that black box holders will receive a gift. Now, my assumption is that if you open your black box, you are no longer a black box holder, and you're not going to get that gift. Now, is this the something else that was hinted at in the FAQ? Potentially, but maybe not. So there's at least one thing coming if you choose not to open your black box. Potentially still two things coming if you don't open your black box. So what about the Lucky Watcher? If you've been following this project for any amount of time, you know that the Lucky Watcher is an item that has become a real premium despite not being one of the rarest items in the game. And that's because holding both a black box and a Lucky Watcher means that you can get the Stellar Edition data key instead of just a regular data key. Now, we haven't known how that would work up until this week, and we finally got that information. So I mentioned earlier that you need to open your black box in order to receive your data key. That is going to be the regular edition. If you have a Lucky Watcher and that data key, you will then have the option to burn both of them in order to get a Stellar Edition data key in return. Now, this is a big deal because currently the Lucky Watcher is selling for about 8 Ether, which is over $30,000 in USD, and frankly, that is a huge value to burn. However, I think that almost all of that value is really the uplift to get the Stellar Edition data key, and I don't expect that the data key is going to be worth anything less than the cost of a black box plus a Lucky Watcher come this Sunday. So if you own a black box and or a Lucky Watcher, what should you do? Frankly, I don't know. If I had to guess, it's probably prudent to hold off on opening your black box and hold off on burning anything for at least until Christmas. We know that you'll get something if you do that, and we know that you won't get that something if you open beforehand. So that's likely the most prudent move and the one that will have the best financial gain. However, there are no guarantees. That is a long time to commit to holding these NFTs without participating in the fun of opening the pack and potentially burning some of those items as well. Here at the Freeroll, I'm quite certain we will watch the market for probably only a few hours, and then we're likely just going to open our black box and burn the Lucky Watcher and data key to receive our Stellar Edition data key. So that's it for Frontier this week. However, make sure that you're following us on Twitter and that you've both liked and subscribed this video so that you receive alerts for the next videos that come out, because this week is action-packed. The next video that we're going to do is going to be covering Parallel Pack Drop number 2, which is sure to be a massive transfer of wealth for anybody that is able to land those packs. They are very, very cheap compared to the cards that are inside, and we're going to talk a whole bunch more about that pack drop and how to make sure that you're fully prepared to maximize your chances.